Welcome back. The market is closing. The numbers are in. One more quick look at today's finish line, 64.87, up 1.5%. The broad all shares also bought up by about 0.75%. This even as the peso continues to retest fresh lows intraday today. Value turnover 7.3, so there is a pickup. So there is conviction in this rally. Advancers trumping decliners 115 to 96. For more on the markets now, let's bring in Wendy Estacio-Cruz, head of research at Unicapital Securities. Hi, Wendy. Happy New Year. Welcome back to Market Edge.
Hi, Happy New Year.
Wendy, are we surprised that the market continues to go up, 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 even if the peso continues to retest new lows?
Yeah, actually, I think the main reason for that is mainly because of bargain hunting. So for the past 2 days, the market was down. So investors are selectively trying to pick up some blue chips, especially with the recent weakness. And I think on the peso side, since we are looking at a rate cut or a widening interest rate differential from the U.S., because U.S. Fed is actually looking at around 50 basis points in total for the rate cut, while the BSP is looking at just 25 basis points. So I think given that scenario, we can expect the peso to be supported for this year.
So you're not expecting the peso to hit senior levels, 60, not yet? Wendy?
Not yet at this point,
yet.
yeah.
All right, and we have analysts.
I think it will be.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it will be supported by remittances as well, BPO inflows, and of course the BSPs help when it comes to supporting the peso as well.
All right, and this peso, so essentially the peso is slightly weaker as we speak. We're now at 59. We were testing 59.46 earlier. That is weaker than yesterday's close. Do you think that a weaker peso in some ways, short term, could make us look a little bit more attractive to foreign institutions, to foreign investors, because we're cheap?
Yeah. Well, if you look at the market right now, we're trading at less than 9 times, and we are actually one of the cheapest compared to the rest of the regional peers. So I think with that, we are somewhat attractive compared to the others. And given that we are expecting the peso to be supported, so that should also provide some attractiveness to the market.
All right. So what's the strategy for this year, Wendy? Considering you think we're cheap, some more investors might start to pick us up. The peso will remain supported. So what is the winning strategy? How will a winning portfolio look like for 2026? And how is that different from last year's?
We are still holding on to the idea of having a defensive strategy. So we are still looking at the high dividend yield stocks, as well as those that are really defensive, like power stocks, power companies, also consumer, because we are looking at the inflation rate still benign for this year. So those are the strategies that we are looking at for this year. So probably most of these high dividend yield stocks will also be the winner compared to the rest of the cyclical stocks.
When you say high dividend yields, are we talking about REITs? Will REITs still be in vogue for 2026, considering the rates are expected to go further down?
Yeah, it's one of our top picks, top sector pick, the REIT sector. And we think that with the declining interest rates, the yield is becoming more attractive, especially compared to last year.
All right. And any other market moving news under the radar? that you're hearing from peers, from friends, from clients that is keeping you excited about this year?
Well, number one is the JFC transaction. So I think everyone knows about the spin-off, the planned spin-off of the international business. And I think that could actually drive the stock price of JFC, especially that the main growth driver is the Philippine business. So if this pushes through, then this should support the company's business, and of course this can be comparable to the other consumer stocks already, given that the international business will be taken out. And apart from that, recently JFC just reinforced or reiterated that their business is still steady and still resilient against its peers. So I think that should also support our view on JFC. And of course, the PhilWeb and Han recent disclosure on the online gaming platform. So that's also one of the things that excites us because, number one, when it comes to the IPO of Han, we think that it can be deferred further because they don't need immediate capital injection for a while, given this transaction with PhilWeb. But it could set the stage for a smoother IPO in the future.
All right. On that note, Wendy, thank you so much for joining us and for giving us your take about the markets and the advice for investors. What is your advice for investors? Aside from stay defensive, go for dividend yield stocks, any other final words for those who are watching and hoping they could make money this year?
Well, I think just believe in the stock market because we are really attractive compared to the rest of the pack.
All right. Just believe. On that note, Wendy, thank you so much for the time and the insights. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.